Good afternoon. My name is Ala McCoy. I'm Director of Startup Support at University of Maryland UM Ventures. And I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you who joined us today for the next installment in Startup Fundamentals workshop series, both live webinar audience and those watching a recorded version on our Startup UMD YouTube channel. This workshop series is offered by UM Ventures with collaboration from MTech at the Clark School of Engineering and Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship at the Smith School of Business at the University of Maryland. Everyone in the live session, please feel free to submit questions using the Q&A function. You can usually find it at the bottom of your screen. I will be monitoring it throughout the presentation. We are recording this session and it will be posted on our Startup UMD YouTube channel, so you can submit your questions anonymously if you would like. You just to click select anonymous. So today I'm very happy to welcome back our regular workshop instructor, Harry Geller. Harry is an accomplished entrepreneur, angel investor, and startup mentor, among other things. He's a TERP alum and has been a big supporter of the University of Maryland entrepreneurs for over a decade. Currently, he is entrepreneur in residence at UM Ventures and at Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship, among his very many other appointments at the university. And today's workshop is an update of a very popular session that Harry did for us a few years ago. A lesson on how to start a product-based business in only a few days using modern technology. And since technology is evolving quickly, Harry prepared an updated version of this fantastic and very popular presentation. So Harry, welcome, and you can take it over.
Okay. Do you want me to put it on the share screen, or are you going to put it on?
I'm going to make you a co-host. And so you can go ahead and share your slides, or I can share them if you'd like.
Yeah, you could just share them. Just save
All right.
I should
Let me do that. Let me get to the beginning.
Oh, you know what? I can do it pretty quickly.
You sure?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Then let me stop sharing then.
Yeah.
That way. Oh, whoops.
Sorry, everyone.
Apologies. We should have been better coordinated.
Is mine on?
Yes. Yeah, yours is on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody, and happy to be sharing this with you. When Ala asked me to do it, I think the last one I did was a year ago on this topic. So I said, well, I better update it. And when I started looking into it, I thought it would take, half hour to update. I was 6 hours into it by the time I finished and could have kept going. There's just technology changes so quick, but everything I'm going to share with you here, I've pretty much either used myself or, someone who I'm in business with or very closely working with has used all these tools. So these aren't only ones out there, but these are ones I've used and been successful with. So briefly, that's me. And, when you're looking at starting a business, I listed, these are maybe 15 things you pretty much have to understand and have a system set up before you really could go into business. Some of them, are interactive and you might be able to do it right afterwards. But when I initially started my business in 1987, having to do all these things took months and months and cost tens of thousands of dollars. And now in a day or two, you can get all of this taken care of, signed up for less than $1,000. And most of that $1,000 goes towards the incorporating fees and things like that. So, very simple to take care of all these things that are critical to get a business started. These are more steps, and these because, things like logo, or prototyping, you may want to sample a few different types of things. These could take a little longer, but still can really be done in a couple days. So, really, this is sort of a basic blueprint for what you need to start like a product sourced e-commerce business. So when you look at e-commerce, it's huge. When I first did this, it was 2.1 billion. Now it's 2.7 billion. Every number here has been exceeded since when I first did this presentation, and it's only going up. Smartphones account for 63% of online retail visits. The generation that's behind mine, or the millennials, the Gen X, they're very pro shopping using the internet and web-based and mobile-based. So that's really where the trend is going. So really, the biggest e-commerce trend is that mobile continues to grow. Even a year ago, I never ordered anything on my phone, but now I order stuff on my phone all the time. And so when you're looking at doing this type of business, you really want to be able to optimize people using you for mobile. So that's really focusing on prioritizing mobile design. Another big trend that's really just come about in the last few years is what we call social commerce and influencer marketing. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all reaching consumers very effectively. Reddit and Twitter and pretty much all the social media sites out there have some sort of utility to buy something on. And I bought something the other day for the first time on Instagram. Another trend I'm seeing is sustainability. People care about it. Consumers, they look for brands that have sustainable practices, even on lower end goods. It's important that you can share your sustainable practices. And, as a company, commit to eco-friendly practices. So this is a trend we're starting to see grow quite a bit. Another big trend, personalization. So, using data you can collect, you can find out where people live. Do they want winter clothes, summer clothes? Do they want tailored discounts, thank you notes, things like that? So consumers are starting to expect more personalized experiences. So, the more you can drill down into your data of your consumer, the more effective you're going to be to deliver personalized services. Excuse me. Another trend we're starting to see is voice optimization and voice search for a seamless shopping experience. Primarily now it's tailored towards the large branded voice assistants, like the Amazon Alexa, Google, Siri, Microsoft offers. But as voice recognition gets better, it's going to be linked more to mobile. So that's just a trend to watch out for. And then another e-commerce trend is you're seeing, a diminishing stigma of secondhand goods. Consumers are very open to purchasing secondhand goods. You see a lot of companies now, they're just not just throwing them out there, but they're, separating them out towards value. They're rating what kind of conditions they're in. So people are getting a lot better feeling about looking at secondhand goods. And, I just gave 3 examples here. There's hundreds of sites out there, and even one on, if you go to the bottom of the Amazon landing page, Amazon warehouse is another one. And people return the goods, they turn around and sell them again. So, those are all, going to be trending up. So, getting into the initial steps of the quick scaling, the first one is you sort of have to, again, I tailored this talk more towards product-based stuff, but regardless, you have to have a prototype, whether it's a service or a product. So, either developing in a lab or creating it yourself. A lot of people do food-based businesses. You have to come up with the prototype first. Then you look at, this is probably the most important step of all is the market validation. If what you're selling, do people actually want it? So make things people want, as we say. So, who's your customer? What problem are you solving? How does your product solve these problems? What are some key features? And are people willing to pay for the product? A lot of times you'll ask people, is this an interesting product? They'll say yes. And then when you say, well, would you buy it? That gives you another answer. So those are always the kind of questions you want to have answered before you launch. So again, testing your assumptions, have you figured out what your value proposition is? Are you bigger? Are you better? Are you faster? Are you cheaper? Normally it's fine to do something someone else has done as long as you're one of those things. If you're the exact same, you're really not offering any market differentiation. And then, we always want to just get your first product out there. If you look at an iPhone or something right now on the 17th iteration of it, there's a big difference between what the first one was and what the 17th one was. And again, you don't want to wait forever to launch a product. If you think you have a good product out there, just get, version 1.0 out and see what the market says about it. So again, I just sort of did a little flow of the different steps, between legal and overhead, sales and production, and marketing. And I will go into those individually a little deeper now. So again, incorporating IRS, EIN number, trademark, URL, business bank, payment, credit card. Companies like Stripe, GoDaddy, Brex is a business bank. I use incorporate.com a lot. Square is an excellent system. Stripe has a part of it called Stripe Atlas, and they pretty much can do all the 7 or 8 things that are on the left there within one website. It's a very efficient, cost-effective, and some of the government organizations like to get an EIN number with the IRS is very easy. Just go on their website. To search and register a trademark is actually very easy. You can go on the Treasury Department website, and I've done it. It's like $300 to trademark your logo or your phrase. So the government does a pretty good job of making those things available. You can also, depending on what state you want to incorporate, most states have quick business websites where you can go in and incorporate with the state, file paperwork, get permits. So pretty efficient. I'll go into sales channels a little more, but the 2 gorillas are the Shopify and Amazon. There's more niche ones like Etsy, eBay for a lot of secondhand goods and other goods. There's inventory management systems, warehouse management systems, and shipping. ShipStation's a real good company. So ShipBob, if you have bulk goods, they can help you with shipping. So these are all out there, easy to find, easy to use. So, digging in, because sales channels are very important and there's hundreds of them out there to consider. You want to look at your target audience. And if this is a mass product, you want to go with a bigger one. Where do people go when they want to shop? A lot of times Amazon. If they're driven to your website, Shopify is a good option. Different platforms have different fee structures. So depending on what you're selling and how much you're selling, you want to look at that. Some are very easy to use and require very little work. They might be a little more expensive. Other ones, you have to do some of the work yourself, and you might be able to save money. But, considering your time and your technical skills, that's a consideration you want to look at as well. Scalability would be important. If you're selling 3 products a week is a lot different than you're selling 3,000 products a week. So you want to look at a shopping platform that can grow with you if that's what you think is going to happen. As I mentioned before, mobile. So does a platform have compatibility? Most of the big ones do to mobile, but as you're trending towards mobile, you want to make sure the platform goes with you on it. And then, clearly security and trust, it's important for you. It's important for your customers. So that's something you want to consider strongly as well. So I sort of broke down some of the sales channel platforms, and Amazon, again, they have the highest of visibility. They have the biggest audience. They do fulfillment for you. With that becomes intense competition, high fees. They limit the branding, and if you're really good, they might duplicate your product. So something to watch out for. It's happened to me. Shopify, another very pro Shopify, very customizable, very easy to use. They have, if you're doing a product, it's worth going both on Amazon and Shopify, and they have a lot of tutorials, how to do things, how other people have done it. It's, a good way to spend a couple hours if you're really going to jump into something like this. Another good platform, more so for niche products and artistic products, Etsy, very supportive community. They are pro mobile and a little expensive sometimes on transaction fees, but and a very interesting sales platform. If you have a niche product or an artistic product, that would be a good place to start. Other ones, and these are a little newer to the game, but Facebook Marketplace, I've sold household things off of Facebook Marketplace, very easy to do. Like Craigslist or other ones, you have to deal with people coming to your house and stuff like that. But sometimes you have problems with payments, but it's growing, and it's worth, if you just have small items to sell, it's worth looking at. Instagram also pretty much requires more active social media management, and works better if you are an influencer or have someone who knows your product, who can be an influencer, because that seems to be what sells the best on Instagram. And Poshmark would be an example of selling secondhand goods, and actually, I said Dingman have worked with the founder of that before. She's great, and it's mainly a fashion item where they take a percentage of whatever you give to them to sell. But a good platform to consider. And I just listed 6. There's 600, but here are some of the other ones I'm familiar with. Craigslist is the very basic one, which is also an easy place to start. Wix is one of those companies that does a sales platform similar to Shopify. Wix also does websites and logos and things like that. So it's an interesting company to look at as well. But there's other ones out there. Other within the sales and production, accounting systems like QuickBooks or Xero, prototyping. I've prototyped and sourced a lot of products through Alibaba. For the most part, it works pretty well. Another website's worth spending some time on. You can pretty much get anything you could think of made through Alibaba, and I'll talk a little more about that later, but it's a good place to start for product sourcing. I'm not sure, Ala, is Terrapin Works still up and around at Maryland?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so they've done some, lab prototyping for me on products. They're very good. Um, you know, Google has product sourcing ways to go. You just, use the Google business site and, play returns management. There's a lot of companies out there to do that. Happy Returns is one of them I've used in the past. Logo, a million of them out there. I've used Fiverr, used 99 Designs. GoDaddy has logo creation. For websites, Squarespace, GoDaddy, Wix, there's a million of them out there. SEO marketing, Facebook, Upwork, Fiverr, social media presence. TikTok is, one if they're still allowed to compete in the US. If not, Facebook, Instagram, X are all social media presence places to consider. So a popular topic is fundraising, and sort of outlined the different ways to do it. But basic self-funding or bootstrapping is you and your teammates put the money together. You risk your capital, but you get to keep the equity. And if you're ever going to go out for money in the future, investors like to see that you put something into the business. A lot of times the first source or the easiest source would be friends and family. And when people suggest or bring that up to me, I always say you should, as much as possible, try to structure it as a loan and, have written agreements. So there's really no question if you become successful or if you fail, who owes who what. So again, structured as a loan and written agreements when you're dealing with friends and family, if you, particularly friends, if you want them to continue to be your friends. There's a lot of crowdfunding sites out there. Crowdfunding seems to work the best for niche products, unique products, and art projects, recordings, movies, paintings, things like that. A lot of crowdfunding out there. It takes time, and a lot of times, it is mainly dependent on how well you position your product with photos and videos. So sometimes professional help is needed. It's a good sales channel for the right product. It doesn't work for everything. I've tried a few of my products on crowdfunding, and they didn't go over well. So, but again, we're spending some time on the three I've mentioned, or you just or the four that are out there, or just Google crowdfunding websites, and thousands of them will come up. And then incubators, accelerators, they're more for technology services and products than they are for actual, physical products. But there's a lot of those out there. A lot of them provide funding, workspace, mentorship. As they become popular, they're extremely competitive in their admissions. I think YC, Young Combinator, has 100,000 applicants for 25 slots every year. So really have to differentiate yourself with there. And usually they give you money, but they take a piece of equity of your company. And there's some great classic examples of great companies that come out of accelerators, like Airbnb came out of Y Combinator, Dropbox came out of Y Combinator. So there's also a lot of local and regional and national options, and even within our university, there's probably some sort of options there. Other ways to look at it: loans, credit card debt. We found, credit cards and loans seem to work best with inventory when you have something that you can tie against the loan that'll pay it back. There are online options to fast capital like Cabbage. I've never used them myself. And then, angel seed investing, again, for infancy products, most VCs or seed investors are not interested unless the idea is really compelling. They usually you have to show some traction before they would consider doing that, and you have to give up equity and probably cede some control. So that's more of a down the road type funding if you get to that point. Another great resource is the Dingman Center Angels, and the Dingman Center itself is a great resource for all this. That's where I came out of. So I guess I would be remiss, as Ala pointed out earlier, if I didn't mention the role of AI. And AI can be a useful supplement to the internet tools I mentioned. I will say just doing your basic search on internet tools yields a lot of information for you. I think AI now, I did a prompt, which I put up here, just, best AI tools for logo creation, and it came up with some great ones. So, that certainly would be one, but you could find out with a basic, Google search too, because really a lot of companies now are using AI, in how they do things, but I came up with hundreds and hundreds of different AI logo things. It can do a logo in 2 minutes, can do a brand name in 2 minutes, things like that. So interesting to play around with. You can play around with other prompts. I said develop a branding plan for high-end secondhand purses. I had within 20 seconds of 8-paragraph branding plan that I wouldn't have been able to do myself. You can compare the pros and cons of best AI website creation tools. I got another great bunch of information. I even helped with this presentation, particularly the part on selling platforms. I had a compare and contrast on what are the better ones are, and that's my actual prompt. And below, I didn't list the whole thing, but that I probably had 15 pages worth of data coming out of that helped me do this presentation. So as I said before, a lot of this stuff is tested by myself or my business partners or my friends or my family. And a good example is myself and another student, we invented a product called Grip Boost, which initially was he was on the football team, and we invented a tacky substance to recoat football gloves. And we started a business with it, with the original tacky gel. And we've pretty much gone into creating the actual football, baseball, and golf gloves, and started with our initial sales channel at Amazon. We did a Shopify website, and now mainly we're direct to consumer, and it'll do about $8 million in sales this year, we hope. A professor had a skin cream using methylene blue. She developed. We helped her with the tools to get started. A Maryland invention. She has multi-channel sales. She has 9 SKUs, sunscreens, and cream. My wife says it's the best eye cream she's ever used. So that's so good that she even buys it herself. On top of my teaching, I also helped the men's basketball team with their name, image, and likeness for their student athletes. So using all these tools, I came up with a direct marketing collective. We do personal brand development. We've designed T-shirts on Fiverr. We use Stripe Atlas to incorporate. We use, Brex for payments. Everything I brought up here, we did ourselves. We do a lot of social media marketing, listing with the stuff I brought up in a few slides in the back. So this was another example. I put this together in about 2 days. runs in the family. On the top, my son Jackson, when he was in high school, was kind of the inspiration for this whole presentation. He, in 3 days, came up with a invention. Those are the bottoms of golf bags that you can't find anywhere. He sourced them on Alibaba. He incorporated, he listed them on eBay and then on Amazon. And for less than $1,000, he was up and running. And in 6 months, he had $3,500 in sales. And he sold it when he was a senior in high school. So when I saw him do that, I was like, wow, this is something that should be taught to people. Then my younger son, Will, who's 6 years younger than the older one, he saw what he did, and he hates raisins, but he loves trail mix. So he came up with a no raisins trail mix. Again, with his help from his older brother, they launched it in 3 days, less than $2,000 investment, and did 5,400 in sales in 1 year. Allah will tell you, these are young pictures of these kids. They're a little older now, but they were the inspiration. So here's just a basic summary of tools I've used that, you guys, rather than going through the old 33 slides, you could look at and come up with things to research. But again, spending some time on all these internet tools is very useful. And again, get the permits, get insurance, pay your taxes, pay your incorporation fees. And that is it. Okay.
Thank you, Harry. That
Sure.
was a great overview. There was one question about the slides being available, but we'll make the slides available. The video of this presentation will also be posted on Startup UMD YouTube channel, so you can watch it again then. But right now, we can open the floor for questions. You can either submit them via Q&A function anonymously. You can also raise your hand, and I can unmute your mic if that's easier. Well, everybody's asking about questions. I just wanted to comment. While you were talking about the incorporate.com, I actually went on that site and quickly took a look. Looks very impressive. So you've used it before?
Oh yeah, many times.
It looks very easy to incorporate in Delaware and get your business.
Delaware, which is cheap and fairly basic.
Yeah, looks great. And yeah, there are lots of AI tools. Just be careful. One caveat I would mention is that anything that you put in Chat GPT becomes public. So if you have anything that needs to be kept private, don't put it in OpenAI. Other than that, it's a great tool for marketing copy, social media posts, or just any kind of brainstorming as to what to do. Here's a question. Thank you for your presentation. I might have missed it, but can you recommend accounting software for beginner, please, businesses?
Yeah, I would. I'm a big fan of QuickBooks, and Xero spelled with an X is also good. You should just go online and Google, basic accounting software for businesses. See what else comes up. There's a bunch of them out there. I'm not sure if you need payroll or not, but those are all things that you could look at.
Great. Thank you. How do you buy ChatGPT, or do you recommend something else?
So, again, what I always said about ChatGPT is very true. I think you can you go up and sign up for it. I don't know, it's maybe like $20 a month. I think I did it for my kids and I just used their account. Microsoft Bing, there's Gemini, there's, all kinds of different options. So if you don't want to pay, there's other ones out there.
Yeah, the basic ChatGPT is free, but if you want to use image creation, generation, and things like that, you would.
Yeah, I use GPT-4. I think it's like $20 a month or something.
Yeah. Here's a question. Awesome presentation. My company is Jay's Watermelonade, a natural beverage company providing refreshing alternatives to sugar-sweetened drinks. I am preparing to manufacture a pallet of canned sparkling products. What resources or tools would you suggest that could help with storage, distribution, and sales for our product?
Well, I mean, if it's just a pallet, I mean, you gotta pick a store or a place that'll stock your, I mean, I wouldn't produce it until you have, some, point of presence within a grocery store or an idea where you're going to sell it. That would be the first step. Are you going to sell it at farmers markets? Are you going to put it into Whole Foods? Where's it going? So that's really the first question. And then, from there, a lot of the online tools I've outlined, it can be of help for you on that.
Yeah, farmers market is probably a great place to start. I know that I've seen Wegmans and Whole Foods that sometimes like to feature local small businesses. What I would also recommend is look into what type of regulatory licenses or anything else you might need for that, since this is food. Oh, here's a question. Where can we buy that no raisin trail mix?
I think it's now defunct.
It was on Amazon, right, Harry?
It was on Amazon. I think someone, they might have sold it to someone or turned it over to a friend of theirs. So,
What was the name of it?
no raisins trail mix.
I don't see it, so here's an opportunity for somebody to fill in the gap.
Sorry, I was outside and Mr. Leaf Blower came walking by, so I have to go inside.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
All right, any other questions, comments? Again, if anybody wants to raise their hand, I can unmute your mic if you prefer that way.
Okay, well.
If there are no questions, thank you so much, Harry. This has been fantastic. So Harry is our entrepreneur in residence and is available for weekly meetings, so you can sign up to meet with him one-on-one if you prefer not to ask questions in public.
Yeah, super. I look forward to meeting some of you, hopefully.
All right. Thank you very much, Harry. And thank you so much to everyone who logged in.
Have a good day.
Thanks. Bye-bye.